Well, I'm going to try it again. Oh, today is my work day, open for business, but it's been slow. A few people came by and took care of that. I've been trimming trees, but this one needs major work. Get out of this big, heavy can, see how the roots are, and then try to squeeze into a smaller one that I could carry around. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Of course, a lot of times when I start a project like this and I have to shut it down because I'll get a bunch of customers, which will be a good thing too. So anyway, I'm gonna get started. Oh yeah, this is a dwarf Hinoki Cypress. And if you've been following me, this is the one that I did about 4 or 5 years ago. It was all bushy and I kept pruning and ended up very stark. And then I goofed in between when I should have been doing a little bit more, so it's been set back. But hopefully I'll get it going again. This is extremely heavy, so I'm just going to take my reciprocating saw and cut it. It's trying to save the container by pulling it out. It's just heavy. Okay, I got it cut, and just looking at the soil, I think it needs to be refreshed. Well, it's been in there for a very long time, and it hasn't been sick, but it hasn't been really vigorous either. So I think I'll try to take off as much of the soil as I can and put fresh. So I guess I'll be working the surface. We'll rake all this out, make sure we get the root flare exposed, and then we'll go from there. Well, something like this, right? I guess the soil is not so bad here, but that bottom part that I'm going to throw away sure was heavy. Yeah, it's not so bad here. The soil is still okay. So I'll go around and get all that scratched up, make sure there's no coiling, and looks okay. Having said that, this side is more, see how it's starting to coil. So I'll have to make sure that that gets taken care of. But it's not that bad. So I'll get these sides loosened up and then put it into a new, smaller container. Boy, this is going to get some fresh soil for sure. Also, the root ball is now small enough that I'm going to put it in a container that I can manage to pick up easily. Well, I'll get it to work, but I took off more root than I normally would, so I'm a little bit cautious about what might happen in the future. Okay, good news is I got it in this manageable size pot, training pot still, but because I lost so much of the root, I'm gonna have to thin out the top. I'm gonna have to thin out the top without changing the style. So basically, if I could remove maybe half of the foliage and still keep the look, I'm in good shape. So that's what I'm going to do next, is to thin it out to cut down on the transpirational loss. Okay, the game plan was I wanted this to come down and kind of take up this space because there's a long run, right? That's what these strings were for, but they're not doing anything, so I'll cut them off now. So I'm going to do that, but it doesn't have to be bushy like this. So I'm going to try to remove half the foliage